Hey, welcome back on Monday post Super Bowl. How's everyone doing? How was your weekend? Did your team win? Did they not win? Did you even care about the Super Bowl this year? Um, you know, one of the funny things about being in this whole media business for as long as I am, halftime has now become the biggest talk of anything. Forget about the game. People either love the halftime or they hate the halftime. I'm sorry. Comments on the early there are negative for halftime show this time. I don't know what you enjoyed, but it wasn't the halftime show from a lot of the comments I am hearing about. But hey, that's all part of the fun of the games, right? Welcome back to 2 p.m. with the Trigger. I'm the host, the Trigger, Rich Bond Trigger from Rock the Stage Media. We're here every day to help you shine on camera, shine on stage to elevate you and your brand. And coming up next week, we have a great opportunity to do just that. We do book launches here at Rock Stage Media. I help authors, new authors, experienced authors to elevate their brand through their new amazing book. And we have a fun one coming up next week. And we're going to have Bill Deboer come on in just a moment here. And Bill's got a brand new book. It's like nothing other we've ever talked about. It's Profitable Fleet Management for the Small and Medium Businesses. And I'm sure right now you're scratching your head saying, what is fleet management? Well, that's why Bill's here today. So let's bring him on in and let him be a part of the conversation. Bill Deboer, great to see you again. How you doing?
Hey, great to see you, Rich. Thanks for having me.
By the way, just to clear it out, did you watch the Super Bowl and did you even care about the Super Bowl?
I did not watch the Super Bowl. I watched the 1923 drop last night of Yellowstone. So that was our entertainment for the evening.
Ooh, I'm kind of on the edge with that show. I thought maybe you would watch the Puppy Bowl because that was far more entertaining than the football game, I think.
Yeah.
Well, hey, congratulations. You are officially an author. You come out of the auto business, and let's just kind of start there again, set the stage so people get to know you, but you're in the family business, as they say, aren't you?
Yep. Grew up in the family business. Been doing this since I was about 7 years old. So it's been a little while.
I'm sure just like any other business right now, the business have radically shifted. What's been the biggest change that you've seen in the auto business?
Well, you name it. I think back over my 25-year career here so far, since I started full time in the business, and so much has changed. The technology is just leaps and bounds above where we were, and I can just imagine where we're going to be in the next 10 to 25 years. It's going to be huge. Kind of got this emergence thing of the battery technology, the electric vehicles going on. Big question marks of whether that will be the end all solution. There's a lot of range anxiety out there amongst people, especially in our rural community up here in northern New Jersey. Will those cars make the distance? Will you get home with that vehicle?
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about the power stations and how fast can you get them plugged in, activated, and how long of a charge do you really get off of each battery station?
But just like anything with DeBoer's Auto, we have one in our loaner car, or we have an electric vehicle in our loaner fleet. We got a charger strapped to the side of our building here. So if somebody does need some help with it, we're here for you. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, again, you have been leading edge in a lot of ways. And besides just regular auto stuff, you've gotten into fleet management. That's what your book is all about. So break down a little bit, help us understand the layman vernacular understanding of what is vehicle fleet management all about.
So fleet management, and what the book is primarily about, is helping those people who get typically, plumber, electrician, mechanical, tradesperson. They're busy running their business, and they get to the point where they can't handle managing the fleet anymore. They pass it off to somebody inside the office who also knows little to nothing about taking care of a fleet, and then not only taking care of a fleet, but maintaining it to an efficient standard where they can control cost, they can prepare for what's coming down the road, and that sort of stuff. And that's where we come in. That's who I wrote the book for, those people, to help them out and give them a good set of tools that they can take into their business and apply and start to drive more revenues into their pockets. So
I can remember the first time I even heard of fleet management, and it was like the car rental places that had like minivans for like youth groups and organizations, and they had like 15 minivans back there. And you didn't know what you're really going to get, but they said, "Don't worry, they're trustworthy." Is that what you're doing, or is it more of the trucking side of fleet management? What's kind of your specialty?
Yeah, our specialty is the tradesperson that's out there, the plumbers, the electricians, mechanical guys that do HVAC work. But they're going around, they're calling on customers all day, every day, trying to do what they do, just like we fix cars, they're fixing toilets and electrical outlets and that sort of thing. And we get in there and we can help them out by you know assessing their fleet, making sure that it's up to snuff, so like when they do get that emergency call at 11 o'clock for a water break, that they're going to make it there and not have their own dramas on top of their customers drama. So that's where
So
we come
actually,
in.
what you do is provide a partnership, an affiliate relationship to make sure that they're able to jump in the vehicle, go boom. You're
Yep.
making sure they're able to do that every single day by maintaining the fleet, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So much of it comes down to preventive maintenance. So a lot of times these fleets, out of just if you will, just a path of least resistance, they send their guys, hey, go get an oil change at the quick lube. And the problem is they don't have the most skilled technicians working at those quick lubes, if you can imagine that. So, they bring it in here. We can do a full assessment on the vehicles. We get in front of anything that's coming down the road. We can give them fair warning. We let them know what our safety and maintenance concerns as of today, and we can help them set up a schedule to get them done and taken care of so that they don't get left stranded on the side of the road.
Now, you wrote a book about this,
Hmm.
and I'm just going to admit, as a guy who doesn't know anything about cars except for put the gas and the oil in and check the
Yeah.
tires. I mean, I'm your bare bones guy here. So it's been interesting to read the book, but why did you want to put this pen and paper? Are there people screaming for this book, or is it more of a new idea to really inform people like this?
It's not really a new idea. I mean, fleet management's been around for a very, very long time. They actually, back in the 70s, there was a group that got together and started systematizing the fleet maintenance practices amongst the providers. And we utilize some software that brings that into play when we manage fleets here. But you can start to see predictive patterns, right? You get a car, a lot of these fleets, as they grow larger, they'll buy, groups of vehicles. So if you can imagine, they'll have 10 Chevys, 10 Fords, whatever, and they start to get into situations where they start having all the same common failure happen at the same time. So we run the software, helps predict at what intervals some of this stuff might be coming up, and it helps us get in front of it before they get into getting stuck on the side of the road. So that's one piece of it. The biggest thing is helping them control their expenses, because if they pre-plan and do the preventative maintenance, they won't come into those major breakdowns. I talked to you about the practice of where they're going in for oil changes at the quick lube. While they might think they're taking care of the vehicle because they're getting the oil changed, it's really not the case. Because our experience has been is, they'll hit the quick lube, quick lube, quick lube, and the next thing you know, there's a catastrophic breakdown of multiple systems. So not only does it break down, but there's multiple breakdowns. So, the vehicle's laid up for an extended period of time versus if we were touching it regularly and staying on top of those things. We do multi-point inspections. We, check the car out from front to back, side to side, top to bottom, and document everything where it's at. And we get them going on the road, and then we can predict when that stuff's going to happen.
Now, one of the things that I think of fleet management is, and this is part of my ignorance, but I'm sure other people think this way. Fleet management is also the dispatcher on the microphone saying, "Where you at, Tony? Get back to the house." That's not what you do, right?
No, that's not what we're doing. No, we're helping maintain the fleet so that the dispatcher is can keep their hair at the electrical or plumbing supply place, so that their vehicles are rolling and they're not worried about a guy being stuck trying to get to a call.
You touched on the new hybrid cars. They're also the touch of the conversation of the self-driving vehicles. What do you think this is going to look like for fleet management when you get into those type of new industry standards? What's that going to look like?
Yeah, it's real interesting. I mean, autonomous vehicles are going to be a huge change for the industry. Imagine if you don't have to worry about your drivers having accidents anymore because the cars drove themselves. I mean, so much of fleet maintenance and what I do with people is helping them understand the risk risk mitigation side of things, because taking care of the vehicles is one thing, but also keeping them safe and out of trouble should there be any accidents. That's a whole nother piece of it. So autonomous vehicles, I think we're still a way off from that, but it's definitely
Mm.
something we're monitoring. Good and bads to both of those sides. Electric vehicles, the larger vans that we see in our commercial applications, they don't have the mileage there. Imagine a van only being able to drive 100 miles and then it needs recharged. It's not really practical at this point, but
Yep.
another 5 years it may be able to go 500 miles. Who knows? So
So the big question also here is what makes you, Bill Deboer, an expert in this area, and why would people want to read a book by Bill?
yeah.
Why?
So I grew up in the industry. I mean, this was my father's hobby, right? He was a drag car racer back in the 60s and ended up in the car business. And I grew up in it with him. Started out retailing cars. I'd go to the auction anytime I was off from school, spring break, whatever. So I know that side of the business very well as far as the retailing aspect, acquiring vehicles, disposing vehicles. Couple that together with the service department that I started when I got into the business after college, and really honed my skills in that. Worked with a number of major, uh, fleets out there, nationwide fleets that we deal with, and saw how they did what they did for their enterprise clients. And I'm taking that with all my skills and boiling it down into this book to help the small and medium sized businesses that don't really fit into that enterprise model for fleet maintenance, but we can help them out on a smaller scale. So that's really
Well,
the
the
crux
book
of
launch is the book launch is just over a week away. It's gonna be next Tuesday night, February the 21st, 6 p.m. We're gonna go live, and we're gonna be streaming right back here on multiple channels. You don't have to register, sign in, click, or do much. You just need to show up and be a part of the amazing event. We're gonna have some special guests to highlight what this fleet management is all about, and Bill himself, and how much of a rock star he is in this area. But Bill, what do you hope to do with this book launch? What is the purpose to have this party, and who's the best invite? Maybe who's the best people to come and party with us?
So the best people to come and party with us would be, those office managers that are just strapped. I mean, they got so much going on in their day to day that this is the last thing that they need to worry about. But yet, it's such a pressing issue for them when people can't get to their jobs to get jobs done and get money in the bank for the business. So, those are the people that are really good invites. Yeah, obviously, the business owners are a good invite. But this book is meant to help out people at all levels. Sure, we're fixing cars here in Hamburg, but the book is meant to help anybody across the nation that is needing help with this stuff. So we'll get people a set of tools that they can either implement in their business themselves, or we can help them find somebody to work with that can help them implement it in their business. So that's
And
what we're here
and
for.
clearly, and clearly, as I'm going through the book myself, you're here to help other people, like you
Yes.
said earlier,
Yep.
not have their head explode. They don't
Yeah.
need to know the
Absolutely.
things you know to be a profitable business with us, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
So come on, join us on February the 21st, 6 p.m. We're going to be live. Bill will be back here. We're going to have some special guests. And of course, yes, you will get access to the book and a couple other wrinkles and surprises along the way. Bill Deboer, thank you very much. We look forward to doing that to you. Again, can you believe we're just over a week away, Bill?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's flying by.
Hey, and don't forget, Rock the Stage has always got something going on live every Wednesday night. And we're announcing today the official launch of How to Rock the Stage show podcast. The audio podcast will officially go live on many audio podcast channels this coming Thursday at 11 a.m. You'll be able to get current shows, upcoming shows, past shows. It's going to be a new way to amplify what we do at How to Rock the Stage. And also coming up tonight, we do have the Podcasting 101 course. Your chance still to be a part of this 4-week course. And if you use the passcode Podcast 101, you will save 20% off of this 4-week course. Watch for that in the post notes as we go off the air in a moment. We'll have that in the post notes. And of course, we'll be back here tomorrow for another 2 p.m. with the trigger. Every 2 p.m., Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we go live. Hey, until then, I'm the Trigger Rich Bodger, and please come and join us on many of these same streaming channels for that book launch party with Bill Deboer. Until tomorrow, I'm the Trigger Rich Bodger.